Dear students, so we are starting our lecture number 15, that is force vibration due to excitation of support instead of mass. So in this unit, we have started with the force vibration due to harmonic excitation force, then force vibration due to rotating unbalance, force vibration due to reciprocating unbalance. Now on there, all this application, we have given the excitation to the mass. But in some cases, there will be the excitation is because of the support. So this is the part of our second unit, that is the unit number 2, single degree of freedom system, forced vibration. So we are starting the force vibration due to the excitation of support instead of mass. So up till now, all this spring mass system in free vibration also or in force vibration also, we have given the displacement or we have applied some external force to the mass. So in many cases, the excitation of the system is through the support or base. Is through the support or base instead of is to be applied on the mass. In many cases or in many applications, the excitation of a system is through the support or base instead of being applied to the mass. In such cases, support or base is to be considered as excited by an sinusoidal motion of y is equals to capital Y sine of omega t. So this is the excitation given to the base, that is y is equals to capital Y sine of omega t, where y is the displacement of your base or support, then capital Y at any time t, capital Y is your maximum displacement or amplitude of your base excitation or support excitation force, and at any time t. There are various example or application of this. Now first example, we can say control panel of the machine. In this, the vibration in the control panel is because of the excitation of base frame. If the base frame is excited by some force or by some external force, because of excitation of base force or base frame, there will be the vibration of your control panel of a machine. For example, if a machine having rotating motion or reciprocating motion and control panel is mounted on that machine, so after excitation of machine, there will be the excitation of control panel. So this is an example of force vibration due to support or base excitation. Another example, if there is an automobile is there, and automobile is running on a rough surface. So because of that rough surface, the rough surface is also considered as an approximate sinusoidal wave. So because of that rough surface, there will be the car, or we can say a vehicle or automobile, is vibrating because of the excitation of your base frame, or we can say as the excitation of support. So this is another example of force vibration due to the excitation of support instead of mass. Now in this both application or example, we are not applying a mass or applying a force on that machine, that is for example for control panel or for example for automobile, but the vibration is because of the base excitation or support excitation. So let us start with our example. So consider a spring mass damper system. Consider a spring mass damper system. So this is the spring, this is damper, and this is mass. So spring having stiffness K, then damper having damping coefficient C, and mass having the body or a system having mass em. Now this whole system, that is spring mass system, spring mass damper system, is supported by a frame or by a base. So this is your base, and there is supported whole this machine structure. It is supported on a base or support. Now if your base or support is excited by an force of y is equals to capital Y of sine of omega t. Say in this equilibrium position we have considered this y, it is in this external force is in upward direction. So because of that, the external force is upward direction. Because of excitation of this mass in upward direction, your machine is also vibrating in upward direction. Your machine is vibrating in upward direction. So your displacement, if we excited your machine or we have excited your base, then machine will vibrating in same direction. So your displacement, velocity and acceleration, that is x dot velocity and x double dot acceleration, these all are in vertically upward direction. Now if we consider the mean position, there are two mean position. First one is mean position of mass, and second one is your mean position of your base. Now there is excitation of base, then the position of base will be changed. So this position of base will be changed by an displacement of y in vertical direction. And because of that, the excitation force, there is a vibration, and because of that vibration, your whole machine and this spring damper all are displaced from its mean position to displaced position. So this is your mean position of mass, and this is your displaced position of mass. Now mass is displaced by displacement x, and your support is displacement by displacement y. So your total displacement is in vertical direction, it is x minus y. This is the total vertical displacement in vertical direction. So this is x minus y. Now this is total vertical displacement. So spring force is also k into total vertical displacement, that is k into x minus y. And again the damping force, it is nothing but the damping coefficient into velocity. So c into x dot minus y dot. So this is the damping force in that direction. Now if you draw the free body diagram of mass in displaced position, we get now the displacement, that is x, then that is displacement x dot, that is velocity, and x double dot acceleration, all are in vertically upward direction. So we know that inertia force, that magnitude is mass into acceleration, that is m into x double dot, and the direction is opposite to the acceleration. Now acceleration is in upward direction, so inertia force is in downward direction. So this is the direction of inertia force. And what is magnitude? Magnitude is m x double dot, that is mass into acceleration, is the direction of it is the magnitude of inertia force. Now similarly, your total displacement of a system, that is x minus y, it is in vertical direction, it is in vertically upward direction. So your spring force is opposite to that displacement. So this is opposite, displacement is in upward direction, so spring force is in downward direction, that is k minus x, k into x minus y. Similarly, the velocity or motion of the mass is in upward direction, so the the damping force is also in opposite to that, so it is in downward direction, that is c into x dot minus y dot. So this is the damping force, because the velocity is the x dot minus y dot, is the velocity. Displacement is, total displacement is xy, that is x minus y, so velocity is x dot minus y. So, and your force, the excitation force is given, that is y is equals to y sine of omega t. So from figure, the analysis of force vibration due to support or base excitation can be done by using two amplitude. One is called as absolute amplitude and another called as relative amplitude of mass with respect to base. So there are two types of amplitude. One is amplitude of mass and another is amplitude of base. So amplitude of mass is denoted by x and amplitude of base or support it is denoted by y. So our first method, that is absolute amplitude method. So we have to use both method for analysis of this vibration, either by considering absolute amplitude or either by considering relative amplitude with respect to of mass with respect to base. So if we take the absolute amplitude, so let y be the absolute harmonic displacement of the support, and that is given by y is nothing but the capital Y sine of omega. So if we differentiate this equation, we get the value of y dot, that is dy by dt is y dot. So that becomes y is constant, so y is constant, sine derivative of sine omega t is cos omega t into derivative of omega t, that it become omega. So your derivative after differentiating this equation y is equals to capital Y sine of omega t, it becomes y dot is equals to capital Y omega cos of omega t. Now where x is the amplitude, that is absolute amplitude of mass em, and y be the absolute harmonic displacement of the support, or we can say it is absolute displacement of the support. Now if we take the free body diagram, all these three forces, because of the base excitation, all these three forces, that is first inertia forces, that is mx double dot, then the spring force k into x minus y, and the damping force c into x dot minus y dot, all are having same direction. So we can take the direction of inertia force as positive. So this direction is positive. Now same direction is there. So this direction is also positive. And even this third direction is also positive. So according to the equilibrium method or D'Alembert's principle, we know that algebraic sum of the forces is equals to the 0. So all these three forces is equals to 0. So what is the magnitude? So mx double dot, this is inertia force, then damping force is c into x dot minus y dot plus k into x minus y. So this is your inertia force, mx double dot, c into x dot minus y dot, it is your damping force because of damper, and this is the spring force because of spring or because of stiffness, that is k into x minus y is equals to 0. So after simplification we get mx double dot c into x dot, that is cx dot, minus c into y dot, that is cy dot, plus k into x minus k into y is equals to 0. Now take x side terms in one side and y side terms in another side. So we get mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to this minus cy and this minus ky goes to right hand side. So that becomes ky into cy dot. That becomes ky into cy dot. Now put the value of y and y dot in that equation. So we get k into, what is the value of y? Y is capital Y sine of omega t. And what is value of y dot? That is small y dot. It is capital Y omega cos of omega t. Now take y common in both having, in both term there is the constant term is capital Y. So take this y common. So if you take y common, so in bracket it becomes k sine of omega t plus c omega cos of omega t. So this is your, say, first equation. That is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to y in bracket k sine of omega t plus c omega cos of omega t. Now in next step we have to multiply and divide by, the square root of k square plus c square omega square. We have to multiply and divide by the term square root of k square plus c square omega square in right hand side only. So we get y. So this term is multiplication. So we have taken dividation in bracket term. This is also dividation. So that becomes the y square root of k square plus c square minus c square omega square in bracket. Now this is factor is multiplied. So we have to divide this factor. So k upon square root of k square plus c square omega square sine of omega t. Again c omega upon square root of k square plus c square omega square cos of omega t. Now we are going to put this value, that is k upon square root of k square plus c square omega 2 as cos alpha. This term as cos alpha, and c omega upon square root of k square plus c square omega square as sin alpha. So we have put the value of cos alpha as k upon square root of k square plus c square omega square, and sin alpha as c omega upon square root of k square plus c square omega square. So after putting, we get the value of mx double dot plus cx plus kx is equals to y into, this term is same, that is square root of k square plus c square omega square, cos alpha sin omega t plus sin alpha cos omega t. Now we know that sin a cos b plus cos a sin b, it is nothing but the sin a plus b. It is nothing but the sin a plus b, that is sin a cos b cos a sin b. So our term becomes mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx, that is left hand side term same, is equals to y square root of k square c square omega square into sine of, now there are a term is your omega t sin a and b term is your alpha. So sin a plus b becomes sin omega t plus alpha. So this is our second equation. So this is equation, this equation number 2. It is the equation which is known as absolute differential equation of the motion when the force vibration is because of the excitation of support or base. Now what will happen? Now this equation, that is equation number 2, it is again similar equation as that of the equation of force vibration due to constant harmonic excitation force, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus k is equals to f0 sine of omega t. Now in that, if we compare this equation, that is equation number 2 with this, say, equation number 3. So if we compare, we get the value of f0 as this. What is value of f0? So we get the value of f0 as y into square root of k square plus c square omega square. And your omega t is term is nothing but the omega t plus alpha. Your angle is omega t, that angle becomes omega t plus alpha. So this is another angle. Now we know that the mx double dot plus cx dot plus k f0 sine of omega t has two parts of solution, that is one is complementary function, another is particular integral. So if you take the part of complementary function, so we know that xc is equals to x1 e raised to minus zeta omega t sine of omega dt plus phi. But in that condition, this omega t, it is nothing but the omega t plus alpha. This term omega d, it is nothing but the omega t plus alpha. Omega d, omega t plus alpha. Plus this is phi. So our equation becomes, so this is value of xc. And what is value of xp? Xp is nothing but the x sine of omega t plus alpha and this plus phi. Now if we taken minus sign common, because we have to take, our equation is omega t minus phi, xp equation. So that becomes xp is equals to x sine of omega t minus in bracket phi minus alpha. So if you take minus sign as a common term, omega d is not this. So this is your xp, but xp part is x sine of omega t plus alpha. Omega t minus alpha. This xp term is x. I will explain separately. So your xc part, that is complementary function, it is same part because there is no forcing function is considered. So it is same equation in complementary function, that is x1 e raised to minus zeta omega t sine of omega dt plus phi. But in case of particular integral, so your particular integral in case of f0 sine of omega t, it is x sine of omega t minus phi. That is nothing but the particular integral. But in this particular integral, in this forcing function, thus there is not term sine of omega t. There is term sine of omega t plus phi, plus alpha. So we have to put this sine omega t as omega t plus alpha and minus phi. So if you take minus sign common, omega t minus, so in bracket madhe it becomes, this value becomes plus and alpha becomes minus. So your particular integral xp is equals to x sine of omega t minus in bracket phi minus alpha. Now in that, this phi minus alpha, it is your phase angle. What is this? Is phi minus alpha, it is your phase angle. This is the total phase angle. But in case of force vibration, there is only phase angle is phi. But in case of the support excitation or base excitation, your phase angle is phi minus alpha. Now next, we have to find out the steady state amplitude and your phase angle, that is phi minus alpha. Now how we are find outing this? So I will explain one by one. So let's start with our steady state amplitude. So we know that the steady state amplitude of force vibration, that is x is equals to, what is x is equals to f0 upon k, f0 upon k divided by, this term is same, that is square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n whole bracket square, 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. So this is your denominator term, it is constant. Now in that condition, the value of f0 is this value, that is y square root of k square plus c square omega. So we have to put this value of f0. So that becomes y square root of k square plus c square omega square in bracket divided by the k is same. Now take this y term to this side. So we get x upon y is equals to, now divide this k to this bracket term. So if we take this k into square root, so that becomes k square. So divided by k square. So we get k square upon k square 1 plus c square omega square upon k square, that becomes c omega upon k brackets, divided by denominator is same, that is square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. Now we have to find out this value. What is c omega k? Now we know that this c omega k, that is we know that c omega upon k, it is nothing but the 2 zeta omega upon omega n. Now how we will upon? So we know that is c upon cc into cc into omega upon k. We have multiply and divide by cc. So c by cc is zeta, we already know, and this is omega, this is cc. Now we know that cc is 2m omega n, 2m omega n. So if we take this m to this side, so that becomes omega n square. So omega n square and numerator omega and this omega n square, that becomes omega n. So that is 2 zeta omega upon omega. So we already consider this. So after putting this value c omega upon k as square root of 1 plus, now what is value of c omega upon k? It is 2 zeta omega upon omega. So this whole bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. So this is the steady state amplitude x when there is absolute. Now this is the steady state absolute amplitude. This x is your steady state absolute amplitude, and y is steady state amplitude. Y is the amplitude of base or support excitation. So this is the equation for steady state amplitude. Now what is phase angle? Phase angle is your phi minus alpha. Now we know that the value of phi. So what is value of phi? Phi is nothing but the tan inverse of, we know the value of phi, that is phi minus alpha, it is nothing but the phi. What is the value of phi? Phi is tan inverse of 2 zeta omega upon omega divided by 1 minus omega upon omega n square. Now what is value of alpha? Now we know that we have put two terms. If we take, so we have put these two values, that is what is value of cos alpha? K upon square root of k square plus c square omega square. And what is value of sin alpha? C omega upon square root. If we take sin alpha upon cos alpha, if we take sin alpha upon cos alpha, so in that this will cancel, so that sin alpha upon cos alpha, that is tan alpha, becomes c omega upon k. What becomes? It becomes c omega upon k. So your value of alpha, that is tan alpha, becomes c omega upon k. Now we know that this c omega upon k, it is nothing but the 2 zeta omega upon omega. So from that we get the value of alpha is tan inverse of 2 zeta omega upon omega. So your equation becomes, your phase angle is phi minus alpha. So it is tan inverse of 2 zeta omega upon omega divided by 1 minus omega upon omega n square minus tan inverse of 2 zeta omega upon omega. So this whole equation, it is your phase angle, that is phi minus alpha. The value of phi is tan inverse of this and value of alpha is tan inverse of this. So this is all about your absolute amplitude. Now the second type of amplitude, that is very much simpler, that is called as a relative amplitude. So now there is relative amplitude of mass with respect to base. So that is taken by x minus y as z. That is relative displacement of mass with respect to support. It is taken as z. So the value of z becomes x minus y. So value of z dot becomes x dot minus y dot, and value of z double dot becomes x double dot minus y double dot. Now from that we can find out the value of x dot. What is that value? So z double dot plus this value goes to this side, so plus. So we get the value of x double dot is equals to z double dot plus y double dot. Now what is your differential equation? It is mx double dot plus cx dot plus c into x dot minus y dot plus k into x minus y is equals to 0. Now put the value of x double dot. What is that? Z double dot plus y double dot. So m into z double dot plus y double dot plus this value, that is x dot minus y dot, it is z dot. So cz plus this value x minus y is z. So kz is equals to 0. So again mz double dot plus my double dot. Now taken z double dot terms in one side and y double dot terms in another side. So we get mz double dot plus cz dot plus kz is equals to minus my double dot. Now we know that the value of y is nothing but the capital Y sine of omega t. Sine of omega t. So if we double derivative of this, so that becomes minus y omega square, because cos sine omega t differentiate cos omega t and again differentiate that minus sine omega t, and that minus y is common and omega is first differentiate and omega square is after second differentiate. So we get the value of mz double dot plus cz dot plus kz is equals to m. Now this minus and this minus, that becomes plus. So m omega square y sine of omega. Now this again same equation, this equation number 4, it is called as the relative equation of motion, which is similar to that fundamental equation, that is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to f0 sine of omega. The only difference is that this is in z and that is in x. So the value of f0 is m omega square y. So what is solution of this equation? We know that the solution of this equation, it is z is equals to zc plus zp, that is complementary function plus particular integral. Now what is complementary function? It is same, z e raised to, only difference is there is term in terms of x, this is in terms of z. So that is z1 e raised to minus zeta omega t sine of omega dt plus phi, and your particular integral, it is in the form of the zp is equals to z sine of omega t minus phi. Now we know that the steady state amplitude in x. Now what is that? X is equals to f0 upon k. Now this equation in terms of z, so we have to take the value of z. So z is equal to f0. Now what is value of f0? M omega square y. So m omega square y upon k. Denominator is same, that is square root of 1 minus omega upon omega square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega whole bracket square. Now taken this term to this side, so that becomes z upon y. Now this m goes to this side, so that becomes k upon m. Numerator, if we take 2 denominator, that it becomes k upon m. Now this is omega square, k upon m, it is omega n square. So what the numerator term becomes, that is omega upon omega n whole bracket square. Numerator term is same, that is square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. And what is value of phi? We know that same value. So what is that value? Phi? Phi is tan inverse of 2 zeta omega upon omega n 1 minus omega upon omega. So this is the relative amplitude and relative phase angle. Now there are two important terms. If we take an absolute amplitude, the absolute amplitude is in terms of x, and relative amplitude, it is in terms of z. Then a relative phase angle is phi minus alpha, and absolute phase angle is only phi. This is important term. The difference it is in this. In case of absolute amplitude, numerator is omega upon omega square, and in relative amplitude, and it is in absolute amplitude, that term is square root of 1 plus in bracket 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole brackets. This is the only term. Only numerator term is there. Changes. This is z upon y. In absolute amplitude, it becomes x upon y. Only that will be the change. So now we are going to consider we are going to solve some examples on this phase excitation or support excitation. So first example we are going to study. So first, a vehicle has a mass of 490 kg. So m is given 490 kg, and total spring constant of suspension system is given, that is k is given, that is 58,800 Newton per meter. Now the profile of road may be approximately sine wave of amplitude 40 mm. So this is amplitude of profile wave, means the amplitude of support or base excitation. So that is nothing but the value of capital Y. So Y is equals to 40 mm. So it is in meter, it is becomes 0.04 meter. Now the wavelength of that sinusoidal waveform is given, that is rough surface. So that wavelength is given 4 meter. Now wavelength is denoted by lambda, so it is 4 meter. Now what we have to find? We have to find out first critical speed of vehicle. This is first. Second, amplitude of steady state vibration of mass when vehicle is at critical speed and damping factor is 0.5. That is, we have to find out amplitude of steady state vibration, that is x, at critical speed. And second, the amplitude of steady state vibration x when vehicle is at 57 km per hour and damping factor is 0.5. So these three. We have to find out first critical speed, and then we have to find out steady state amplitude for two conditions. So the given data is, the mass is given 490 kg, then stiffness is given k, then the excitation amplitude is given, that is rough surface amplitude, and your wavelength of rough surface is given. Now first we have to find out critical speed of shaft. So how will we find out critical speed of vehicle? Now we know that the omega n is equal to, if we know the value of k and m, we can find out the value of natural frequency. So omega n is equal to square root of k by m. So 58,800 divided by 490 and square root of that. So that becomes 10.95 radian per second. Now we know that the time period is equals to 2 pi upon omega. What is? Time period is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Now there is another definition of time period. So time period is nothing but the wavelength upon velocity. This is another definition of time. So that becomes 2 pi upon omega lambda upon v. Now if this is natural frequency, if we take this omega as omega n, then this v becomes vc, that is critical speed. Now this critical speed, it is at when omega, the value of omega is omega n. The critical speed is nothing but the when value of omega is omega, when value of omega becomes omega n, that is nothing but the resonance condition. So that time the velocity or speed of the vehicle, it becomes critical speed, that is Vc. So after putting this value, we get critical speed of vehicle is equals to, so if we put the value of omega n, then that v becomes Vc. So 2 pi upon omega n lambda upon Vc. So 2 pi, what is value of omega n? 10.95 is equals to, what is value of lambda? Lambda is given wavelength, that is 4 meter, 4 upon Vc. And from that we get the value of Vc. So what is that value of Vc? Vc is in meter per second, so that becomes 6.97. And if we multiply by 18 by 5, so that becomes kilometer per hour. So if we multiply meter per second into 18 by 5, so that becomes kilometer per hour. So 6.97 into 18.5, 18 divided by 5, so that becomes 25.10 kilometer per hour. So this is the critical speed of vehicle. Next, we have to find out the amplitude of a vehicle, steady state amplitude of vehicle when the vehicle is at critical speed and damping factor is at 5. So damping factor is given, that is value of zeta is given 0.5, and your speed of vehicle is at critical speed, means omega is equals to omega n. Now we have to find out steady state vibration. We have to not find out the relative amplitude. We have to find out the amplitude, that is absolute amplitude. So this is the formula for absolute amplitude. So x is equals to y square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. So put the value of omega upon omega n as 1. So if you put the value of omega upon omega n as 1, so that terms becomes 0. So that terms is 2 zeta, this value is 1. So in numerator there is term y square root of 1 plus this is omega upon omega n becomes 1. So that is 2 zeta bracket square divided by square root of 2 zeta bracket square is equals to 0.04. 1 plus 2 into 0.5 square divided by square root of now 2 zeta square and this square root. So square root get cancelled. So the term only 2 into zeta. So 2 into 0.5. So after that we get the absolute amplitude, that is x is equals to 0.0565 meter. So if it is in mm, so that becomes 56.56 mm. So this is the absolute amplitude. Similarly, we have to find out the absolute amplitude when speed gets changed. Now what is speed is given speed? The speed is given as 57 km per hour. So your velocity or speed is given, that is zeta is 0.5 and speed is given 57 km per hour. So in meter per second, so that is 5 by 18. We can convert that kilometer per hour into meter per second. So that becomes 15.83 meter per second. And we know that Tp is equals to lambda upon V, that is 2 pi upon omega is equals to 4 upon 15.83. So from that we get the value of omega. So what is that value? 24 upon 87, 24.87 radian per second. And we know that the value of omega n. Now what is value of omega n? So omega n is 10.95 and this value of omega is 24.87. Now again same formula. So x is equals to y. So y value is put, then square root of 1 plus in bracket 2 into zeta. So 2 into 0.5 into omega upon omega n. So omega is 24.87, omega n is 10.95 whole bracket square. Similarly, square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square. We have to put the value of omega and omega n. So again same 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. So after solving this numerator and denominator term, we get the value of x as 0.02097 meter. So in mm it becomes 20.97. So this is the displacement, that is steady state amplitude x at a speed of 57 kilometer per hour, that is 20.97. Now take another example. What is that example? A spring of an automobile trailer are compressed 0.1 meter under its own weight. So delta is given, that is delta is equals to deflection 0.1 meter. So we know that omega n is equal to, there are two formulae for omega n. That is omega n is equal to square root of k by m, and another formula is square root of g by delta. So from that we can find out the value of omega n. So g by delta, g is 9.81 and delta is 0.1 given. Now again we have to find out the critical speed of trail when it is traveling over a road with profile approximately a sine wave with an amplitude is given. So y is given, that is amplitude and wavelength both are given. So y is given 0.08 meter and wavelength is given 14 meter. Now what will be the amplitude of vibration when vehicle is traveled at 60 km per hour? So that velocity is given 60. So 60 into 5 by 18, so that is in meter per second, that is 16.66. So we have find out the value of omega n. So critical speed, now we know that at critical speed omega becomes omega n. So Tp is equals to lambda upon Vc. So that is nothing but the 2 pi omega n lambda upon Vc. So omega n, it is the known value to us. So 2 pi upon 90.19, 14 upon Vc. So this is the value of critical speed of the shaft. This is in meter per second. So by multiplication of 18 by 5, that is in kilometer per hour. Now this is the first critical speed. Now we have to find out what will be the amplitude of vibration when speed is changed. That is, this is 79.47, it is critical speed, and we have to take on the speed is 60 km/h. So what will happen? So we have to find out the value of omega. Now how we will find out the value of omega? We know that the Tp is equals to lambda upon V. Now Tp is 2 pi upon omega lambda upon V. 2 pi upon omega. What is the value of lambda? Lambda is 14 and V is given, that is 16.66 meter per second. So that is 60 km/h. That is 16.66. So that becomes value of omega. So what is that value of omega? 7.47 radian per second. This is value of omega. This is value of omega n. That is 9.90. So there is only one formula. So x is equals to y in bracket square root of 1 plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus omega upon omega n square whole bracket square plus 2 zeta omega upon omega n whole bracket square. Now in that condition there is no damping factor is given. So if we take the value of zeta is 0, so if the value of zeta is 0, then this term is vanishes. Square root of 1 becomes 1 and this y. So y is same. Now again this value vanishes. So square root of this square root and this square get cancelled. So remaining term is this. So if we can cancel this square root and square term. Sorry, we cannot cancel directly. Or we can cancel this square root term also. So after putting this value of y and omega upon omega n, so we get the value of x is equals to 0.1057 meter. So in mm, that is 105.7 mm. So this is a simple example. Only we have to use the formulas. So this is all about the today's lecture. So thank you very much.